I am Anthony from Hashes.net, and today we're going to take a look at a part of the history of Mortal Kombat. Begun as a video game in arcades in 1992, Mortal Kombat depicted a war between Earthrealm and Outworld. A direct competitor to the Street Fighter series in the arcades, Mortal Kombat differentiated itself by being ultra-violent. As a result, the United States government forced the creation of a video game rating system to curtail children from purchasing such games. Over the years, the characters and story have evolved to be one of the top entertainment properties in the world. For purposes of simplicity, we will be focusing on products released in North America.
In 1992, Mortal Kombat was originally released in arcades, then on the Nintendo Game Boy, Sega Game Gear, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. A 2D fighting game using digitized character models, Mortal Kombat featured violence at levels previously unseen in a video game. As a result, the Nintendo version had some of the content hidden or changed. The release of Mortal Kombat directly led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board. In 1993, Mortal Kombat 2 was originally released in arcades, then on the Nintendo Game Boy, Sega 32X, Sega Game Gear, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Continuing the story of fighters from Earthrealm against those of Outworld, the Outworld Emperor, Shao Kahn, appeared to demand a rematch. With a larger roster, this 2D fighting game increased its violence level, making it certainly worth its newly earned mature rating. In 1995, Mortal Kombat 3 was originally released in arcades, then on the Sega Genesis, Sony PlayStation, and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The story continues with Shao Kahn attempting to merge Earthrealm with Outworld. This game introduces new features such as a run button, combos, cyborgs, and a resurrected queen, as well as a larger roster.
Reptile wins. Round 2. Fight!
Also in 1995, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was originally released in arcades, then on the Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn, and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. An updated edition of Mortal Kombat 3, UMK3, included additional characters, new gameplay modes, and better character balancing.
Round 1. Fight!
In 1996, Mortal Kombat Trilogy was released on the Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation, and PC. Another update of Mortal Kombat 3, MKT added all previous characters and stages from throughout Mortal Kombat and its sequels. A new feature included the Aggressor Bar, which, once filled, increased combo speed and damage that could ultimately end in the finisher known as a Brutality. In 1997, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero was released on the Nintendo 64 and Sony PlayStation. A sequel to the original Mortal Kombat, Sub-Zero was tasked by his clan to acquire the Elder God Shinnok's amulet. A two-dimensional action-adventure game, Sub-Zero had to fight his way through various levels, defeating both old and new enemies while on his quest.
welcome to Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero. Like no other Mortal Kombat game before.
Also in 1997, Mortal Kombat 4 was originally released in the arcades, then on the Nintendo 64, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Sony PlayStation, and PC. Now a 3D polygonal fighter, MK4 introduces objects and weapons to fights. An additional feature named Maximum Damage was added that limited combos to prevent chain exploitation that could lead an opponent being unable to counter prior to losing the round.
Now, after Shao Kahn's defeat at the hands of Earth's warriors, Shinnok has managed to escape his confines in the Netherrealm. The war is now being fought once again. Only this time, it can be won by mortals.
In 1998, Mortal Kombat Gold was released on the Sega Dreamcast. It was an updated version of Mortal Kombat 4. MK Gold included new stages and characters. And exclusive for the Dreamcast, the game also included VMU memory card support. In 2000, Mortal Kombat Special Forces was released on the Sony PlayStation, a three-dimensional action-adventure game. Special Forces tasked players with Jax, who must hunt down and capture Kano, the leader of the Black Dragons. Chronologically, Special Forces' story occurs before Mythologies. In 2001, Mortal Kombat Advance was released on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. A port of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System version, it contained less characters, finishing moves, and control functionality. In addition, the violence was toned down to be more appealing to children, despite maintaining the mature rating.
Fight! Jax wins.
In 2002, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was released on the Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo Game Boy Advance, Nintendo GameCube, and Sony PlayStation 2. This time, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung have teamed up in hopes to jointly conquer both Earthrealm and Outworld. New features to this game included the ability to change fighting styles on the fly, player dial-a combo creation, a RPG-style story mode, and the Crypt.
And returning characters. Ominous and exquisitely detailed interactive environments. And all new for the first action systems. Fatalities. Special DVD.
In 2003, Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition was released on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. An updated version of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance on the GBA, it included characters that were not in the original GBA version of the game that were in the console versions. In addition, both GBA versions featured one less fighting style for each character. In 2004, Mortal Kombat Deception was released on the Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, and Sony PlayStation 2. Continuing the storyline of Deadly Alliance, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung turned on each other once they had achieved their goals, only to be defeated by the newly awakened Dragon King, Onaga. Deception included 2 minigames, both were Mortal Kombat's takes on chess and a matching puzzle game. In 2005, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks was released on the Microsoft Xbox and Sony PlayStation 2. A three-dimensional action-adventure game, the story occurs around Mortal Kombat 2. Liu Kang and Kung Lao must fight the forces of Outworld while also protecting Earthrealm. There is also a fighting mode where characters are unlocked during the story, in addition to a copy of Mortal Kombat 2.
And they prevailed. The sorcerer, Shang Tsung, chose to run, accepting his defeat. Through a portal to Outworld, the horde of rogues escaped. The Thunder God assured the warriors, but the champion of Earthrealm and his most trusted ally.
In 2006, Mortal Kombat Armageddon was released on the Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo Wii, and Sony PlayStation 2. In a story that concluded this timeline in Mortal Kombat, two brothers are tasked with competing against each other to prevent the end of the world. Featuring every character in the series dating back to Deadly Alliance, players could now create their own character. There was also a new kart racer minigame.
Flawless victory. Round 2. Fight!
Also in 2006, Mortal Kombat Unchained was released on the Sony PlayStation Portable. A port of the Nintendo GameCube version, the game included Shao Kahn, Goro, Katana, Jax, Frost, and Blaze as playable characters. In addition, everything but alternate costumes are initially unlocked. As an exclusive, an endurance mode was added.
Via wireless combat. Test your skills with the new endurance mode. Go on an adventure mode. Play chess and puzzle combat, MK style. Now you can take the fight anywhere. Mortal Kombat Unchained.
In 2007, Ultimate Mortal Kombat was released on the Nintendo DS. The game was an arcade-perfect port of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 that included Wi-Fi. In addition, Puzzle Combat was included from Mortal Kombat Deception. Plus, once the characters Ermac, Mileena, and Classic Sub-Zero were unlocked via combat codes on the Versus screen, they remained unlocked. In 2008, Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe was released on the Microsoft Xbox 360 and Sony PlayStation 3. Not directly related to the main Mortal Kombat or DCU storylines, the game is an Elseworlds crossover 3D fighting game. During battles occurring in both universes, Darkseid and Shao Kahn are forced through an interdimensional portal that combines them into Dark Khan. Once united, Dark Khan draws characters from both universes and uses magic to balance the power scale. The game also introduced a rage mode that enabled a momentary buff to characters. Due to Warner Bros. Requiring the game to maintain a teen rating, much of the violence was toned down, and the superheroes did not have fatalities.
Flawless victory. Round 2.
In 2011, Mortal Kombat was released on the Microsoft Xbox 360, Sony PlayStation 3, and Sony PlayStation Vita. An updated Complete Edition was then released in 2012 on the Microsoft Xbox 360, Sony PlayStation 3, and PC that included all of the downloadable content. This game returned the series to its two-dimensional fighting roots, while the art maintained a 2.5D look. An alternate reality from the previous games, the story returns to that of the original Mortal Kombat trilogy. Seeing the memories of the other universe's Raiden, this world's Raiden attempted to make changes to events as they played out.
Round 1. Fight!
Also in 2011, Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection was released on the Microsoft Xbox 360, Sony PlayStation 3, and PC. This compilation included the original 16-bit Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Originally intended to be a HD remake, the games were simply updated to have online play and some quality of life improvements.
Scorpion wins.
In 2015, Mortal Kombat X was released on the Microsoft Xbox One, Sony PlayStation 4, and PC. An updated XL edition was later released on the same platforms that included all of the downloadable content. There was also a mobile version called Mortal Kombat Mobile. Continuing 20 years after the story of the previous game, now referred to as Mortal Kombat 9, the next generation of fighters were introduced. Earthrealm had an uneasy alliance with Outworld and its current emperor, Kotal Khan. That peace was ended when Shinnok offered Outworld what Shao Kahn could not accomplish. In 2019, Mortal Kombat 11 was released on the Microsoft Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Sony PlayStation 4, and PC. The third chapter in the ongoing story, Raiden had become corrupted by Shinnok's amulet and threatened the Elder Gods if they attempted to interfere with Earthrealm. Shinnok's mother, Kronika, teamed up with the rulers of Netherrealm to take down Raiden and reset the timeline once again. In a post-story expansion called Aftermath, a fight ensues to prevent the rulers of Netherrealm from resetting time in light of Kronika's defeat.
Mortal Kombat has been an icon in popular culture for over 30 years with no sign of slowing down. With the establishment of now classic characters and regular product releases, there is still plenty of room for growth in the franchise first established in 1992. Let us hope that Mortal Kombat will continue to live on forever. If you have any comments or questions, please post them. Also remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.